All right, back on the Young Turks. I continue to be pumped up. Now, Princess Kasparian joins us. PK Burger, nice to have you.
Nice to be here.
All right. Now, Anna claims that we're going to start with the story of the day. Now, I think it's a bit of a bold prediction, but I'm ready.
Look, this is the story of the day because I could care less about sports. I never watch ESPN, but there has been a scandal.
There has been a scandal.
All right, involving Steve Phillips. He is a baseball analyst for ESPN, and apparently he's a bit of a womanizer. He's had a history for that, but he's been slammed with a scandal involving a 22-year-old production assistant. That's the woman there. Her name is Brooke Hadley.
Hundley. I'm gonna go with Hundley. Now, here's the situation. I'm gonna skip to the biggest issue here, because on this show we keep it real. First, I read the headline. You know, he sleeps with a 22-year-old intern, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Way to go, Steve Phillips. And then you see the picture, and you're like, yeah, I'm not sure I'd have gone in that direction.
Man, all of you guys here at work think alike. It's amazing. Okay, the guys couldn't hold back. We had a little private discussion about this story before we started the segment.
She looks like a big hitter there.
You were terrible.
Well, I didn't.
Look,
what do you mean? I mean, she looks like she's in a good batting stance. What do you mean?
Okay. I don't think she's that bad. I think she's a little frumpy, okay, but I don't think she's hopeless. I think it's mean to pick on her looks.
That's right.
All right? But with that said, she's psycho.
Okay, now, here's the thing. I'm already picking on her looks because I know something about the story that you don't know yet.
Right.
So, Anna, fill them in.
Okay, so Steve Phillips, you know, he hit it and quit it. He was not interested in pursuing a serious relationship with her, obviously, because he's married, right?
I'd have quit it, period. That's where I would have started. But anyway, go ahead.
She's office hot, though, maybe, for him.
Yeah, you got to be on that island an awfully long time before you get there. Okay, I'm just saying. All right. Now, remember, I'm saying this in the context that he's married and has 4 sons with his wife?
4 sons with his wife,
okay.
Yes.
Okay,
so what ended up happening is he dumped her, and she did not take it well. Yeah. So she decided to call his wife and make threatening comments, send her text messages with extremely detailed sexual events that she had with him. In fact, she told his wife that she knows about his birthmark on his crotch, and she also knows about a birthmark in his inner thigh. And then she told her, I'm telling you this so you know I'm not faking it.
All right, now let's get into even more disastrous events. She leaves this letter, but as she's leaving the letter actually on the door of their home, okay, with their family, the wife pulls up. Hundley sees her, panics, puts it in reverse in the car, and tries to get the hell out of there, and smashes into a stone column.
Clever.
Okay, this woman is beginning to define the word fail, right? Okay, so, boom. I mean, can you picture the scene? You know, like, addicted. And she has to go forward and then get, oh, no, please no. Don't blow me that kiss. Okay, and then she stalked, and this is the really dangerous part and crazy part, and this is where I lost any interest in defending her, right? Or being kind to her. The son, the 16-year-old son, pretends that she's going to high school with him, says, oh, I overheard in a baseball game that your dad is sleeping with somebody else and he's going to leave your mom, and he starts calling the mom your dad's baby mama.
Right.
Even though they've been married all this time and have 4 kids together, etc. But then here's where it gets super creepy. She starts to ask him questions about, hey, do your parents sleep together in the same bed? Are they yelling at each other, etc.? No, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, she's off the deep end.
Yes.
So, now, Steve Phillips, what are you doing? Now, when he was with the Mets, he was the general manager of the Mets, right?
He actually slept with a team employee 3 different times. Her name was Rosa Rodriguez.
That sounds good.
She went and sued him for sexual harassment.
That sounds bad.
Even though they had sex 3 times.
Yeah, no, but look, if you're an employee, I mean, we have to know the context. I have no idea what the facts in that situation were. Now, Steve, look, you've already gotten in trouble for sleeping with employees, right? And it became public, and God knows what you had to do to repair your relationship with your wife and your family, right?
Well, there is no repairing it. They're divorcing. It's over. He's
well,
done.
Of course. Of course.
You never know. Some women stay with the husband.
Not after this. I mean, come on. Look, if I'm the wife, look, let me ask you this. If you're the wife and this clown did it again,
right?
Got caught again, got all over the papers again, right? And it's with a 22-year-old intern, and she turns out to be a psycho, but I'm going to keep it real here, and she turns out to be a little questionable in the looks department.
Okay.
Wouldn't you be offended?
Would I be offended? Is that even a question? First of all, I'd be devastated, and I would want to physically harm him. Like, there's no...
like, as long as we're keeping it real, right? Okay, no, but my point is, look, I'm trying to be too polite about it.
Okay.
The fact that she's not good looking, wouldn't that further offend you? Like, you hooked up with that girl instead of me? Apparently his wife is super hot.
I think, no. Look, I would like to think, oh, he's cheating on me with someone who looks worse than me, how dare he, right? But at the same time, it would be a little worse if he was cheating on me with a supermodel. Because then, I mean, your confidence and your self-esteem takes a real hit when your significant other or your husband is cheating on you, right? But if he cheats on you with someone who already looks better than you, that's even worse. Because women, it's just in their nature. They automatically start to blame themselves, right? So it's like, oh, I did something wrong. What is it? It's something about me. And then you see this, model-esque woman, and you feel a million times worse.
So now you're saying when you see her, if you're the wife, you're thinking, well, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
My husband's just got fail written all over him. It's his clown ass, not me, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting logic. I can back that logic.
Yeah, and it's bad either way. It's really hard to differentiate.
The flip side is, from a guy's perspective, this is really interesting. If my significant other were to cheat on me, right, and I see that the dude is like Jesus Luz, the guy with Madonna, like a statue, like you're like, well, I can see it because I ain't that. Okay, I got other gifts, but that ain't it, right?
Right. But that's going to hurt your self-esteem even worse.
No, I don't think so. I think that makes sense. At least it was a logical hit. Okay, but if she cheats on me with like some frumpy, bald 40-year-old dude, I'd be like, whoa, what's happening here? Okay, see, that's messed up because you're telling me I can't compete with that schlep? No, we got an issue in America.
Yeah, but for men it's different because we already know
that... that's awesome. Oh, she cheated on me with Salman? I said, oh, no, baby, no, not that. Not that. I couldn't take that. No, it'd be over. Then I'd pull an Anna and say, you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Either way, it's terrible because I could see what you're saying. It's going to hurt the woman's self-esteem either way. Because if it's a terrible-looking woman, you're thinking, does he think that she's better looking than me? Am I really not as good as that? But if it is an attractive woman, then oh my God, she's more attractive than me.
Right. But with guys, it's not that the woman that he's cheating with is more attractive. It's just that she's different. That's how we're built. It sucks, but it's true. From my perspective, it's Blair Underwood. I go, well, at least I see it. You know what I'm saying? And so, but hey, don't get encouraged. I'm just saying. All right, Jay, are you going to jump in here? No? You're moving on. All right.
Okay, let's see what we have next. Let's talk about Bronson.
Yeah. Yeah, don't it? Go ahead.
Okay, Bronson Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot?
He had an interview with AV Club, and he basically decided that he was going to take the opportunity to burn a couple bridges, namely Denzel Washington, Tom Cruise, and Bette Midler. He called Bette Midler a bitch. He went and said that Tom Cruise is this terrible homophobe that makes comments that make no sense. He said that in one situation, Tom Cruise said, "You want some ice cream in case there are no gay people there?" I don't know what that means. I didn't understand that joke at all.
No, I know what it means. It means Tom Cruise is gay. Okay, because as I was reading, now if you believe Balky, right? And he's trying to sell whatever he's selling, right? So he's throwing bombs trying to get attention. He hasn't worked in a long time. Let's keep it in context, right? Now, if you believe him, though, he's saying Tom Cruise will come out of the blue and be like, oh, it's a nice day. I hope you're not gay. And you're like, what? Right? Now, that was when Tom was 20 years old, to be fair, too, right? In Risky Business. Now, having said that, you know who says comments like that? I mean, you've seen it in every high school in America. The guy who's saying, oh, he's this and he's that, okay. He's the gay one, right? It's so obvious. It's like putting out a red flag saying, oh, I'm gay, right? So, and then you see that later Tom Cruise takes a lot of heat in that direction. You know, I'm putting 2 and 2 together, but I haven't said a word, just in case. Okay, I'll let you come up with what number that is. Okay, so that was what I got from Bronson, if you believe him. So, and then on the other ones, I mean, okay, so you got Bette Midler. Who was the other guy that he went
Denzel
after?
Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I found really surprising because he said that Denzel Washington would use his character as like a cop-out for who he really is. So he would say, you know, when he was a dick to Bronson, right, he would say, it's just my character. I'm just playing my character.
But that might have been the case.
Right.
Look, so when it comes to Bette Midler and Denzel Washington, I got the sense that Bronson Pinchot was really thin-skinned.
Yeah.
He said, like, he needed, the way after Denzel treated him that way, he needed therapy.
Yeah, he needed to go to a shrink.
No, but he spent all the money that he made from the movie on his shrink, he claims. Right? Now, I'm sure that's an exaggeration, right? But, dude, come on.
Right.
Let's go. Man up. Okay? I mean, so he hurt your feelings. Get over it. I mean, if we're working with someone and then he says mean things to me and I'm like, oh my God, he hurt my feelings. Go. No, I get it. It happens sometimes, but you gotta get beyond that, man. You can't be devastated by what Bette Midler said about you. Okay? Right. And the Midler story wasn't even about him. Yeah. But he did give credit to one actor.
Tom Hanks. He really, really likes Tom Hanks. He said he's been a stand-up guy even when he was making no money. And then after he became tremendously famous, he was still a really stand-up guy.
And that's what everybody says in Hollywood. So that's the part of the story that I think is fairly indisputable because everybody says Tom Hanks is just an absolute sweetheart, like as good a guy as you can find. So you know what? That makes me feel good because I like Tom Hanks. So I think like, all right, Tommy boy, way to go.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is awesome. I like him a lot.
All right, Tom Hanks, go forward. You're the winner out of this story.
All right, we have time. Okay, I want to get to the proposal story. This is my second favorite story.
Okay, today. I was gonna say you got a lot of favorites today.
Okay. A gentleman decided to propose to his girlfriend through Super Mario Brothers. All right. He used something known as lunar magic to edit the video games. And what he did is, in one of the levels, he had gold coins that were shaped in the words, "Will you marry me, Lisa?" So we have video of this.
First, I'd like to make note. Oh,
isn't that sweet?
Schmoopy Papoopy! And they're calling this guy, like a nerd or dork for doing it through Super Mario Brothers, but in a kind of endearing way, right? And I was like, I don't think that's even that dorky. And then I read that he used lunar magic to do it, and I was like, okay. Anytime you use lunar magic, it's a little nerdy or dorky. Nothing wrong with it. God bless. So let's watch a little bit here. Here's a proposal. So now this is her playing it. Now she's playing it. She's running through the gold coins, and he says, just run, just run.
Will you marry me?
Whoa!
What was that?
I don't know what happened there, man. That was not Jessica Ramirez from Newsweek. All right, anyway. So, the schmoopiest moment this week. I mean, clear winner, right? I mean.
Yeah, I'm not for cheesy proposals. I think they're lame, right? But this is great because the guy used his talent, all right, as a video game editor to propose to his fiancée, and I thought that was a great idea.
Well, if she's going out with him and he's using lunar magic left and right? She knows what she's getting. I mean, she's not like looking for a biker guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? She's like, oh, you weren't part of the, Hell's Angels? Oh, okay. No, of course. So she loved that, of course.
Yeah,
I would imagine, right? And she said yes, and that was sweet, and everybody comes out a winner.
Right.
And I want to, put them together with Tom Hanks. I go, oh, you guys are good guys. By the way, do you know what this is?
No.
This is when you put your, arm around their shoulder and like,
yeah. I do that, but I thought it might be a reference to something else.
No. Kind of rustle up their hair. Be like, you did a good job.
Right. You know, but when I was watching that video, I thought to myself, if my boyfriend proposed to me in that exact same way, I would be so oblivious. Like, I would be so into the game that I wouldn't realize that the coins are spelling out, will you marry me?
If I did that with Wendy, and I said, just run straight, she'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm supposed to get the gold coins. And she'd ignore me and start jumping up and getting the gold coins. And then I'm like, no, look at the right. Oh, forget it.
My favorite proposal story is your friend and how his wife found the ring in the drawer. And then he's like, want to marry me?
Yeah, because he was really clever. He hid it in the sock drawer. You just open the drawer and it's right there. But he's a schmuck. He does things like that all the time, right?
I love that.
And then, but you're right. The best part of that is after she finds it, he's like, all right. So I guess you want to marry me? She's like, all right.
Like, I'm sure she wasn't amused by that, but it was hilarious. It's a great story.
Yeah, it's funny for us.
Yeah.
All right. We got to take a little break here. Let's come back. Young Turks. All right, back on the Young Turks. That music makes me feel good. Puts me in the mood for a little vodka. Uh-oh.
You're such a nerd.
All right, here's the situation. There's no post-game show today. Everybody calm down. Everything's going to be all right. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to come back guns blazing with the second half of JR's interview one day. Okay? So we'll see if we can do that tomorrow. Okay? Anyway, the reason there's no post-game interview is because we got invited to a fancy schmancy party in Beverly Hills, please. It's for the launch of Sobieski Citron. That's Citron, sorry. And Sobieski Vanilla. Okay, those are all vodka drinks. And so they asked, all right, look, we're going to have your whole crew, but can you guys talk about it on air? And I was like, what, do you confuse me with someone with ethics? I'm like, of course we can talk about it on air. So we'll go get drunk tonight. We'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Okay, now, look, we keep it real, right? So I'm not going to come out here and be like, oh, my God, Sobieski's the best. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, right? And we're not lying to you. I'm just telling you. So we're going to have some fun, and we'll tell you how the party is in Beverly Hills after tonight. So no postgame for today. But we do want to thank members because we love them. Lieutenant Kai Saxton, we haven't thanked in a while. So, Kai, thank you so much. And Captain H.J. Park. So, Captain Park and Lieutenant Saxton, you guys rock the world. Now, members, of course, get the whole 3-hour show and normally the postgame. But what do we call them? Officers? Officers at Rebel Headquarters help a little bit more, and we really, really do appreciate it. That's what makes the show go forward. All right, let me say one last thing, and then we'll move on. On Saturday, I'm going to go to the Kern Valley Freedom Festival. As I like to say, who isn't in favor of freedom? Freedom rocks the world. And it's in a gorgeous place in the Kern Valley River area. It's the 4th annual Freedom Festival. It's in Southern Sierra, as I, of course, have told you. And if you want to get more information, RJ Escal is going to be there. Dave's going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to speak there. You go to kvfreedomfestival.com. kvfreedomfestival.com. All right, and we will see you there if you're around California, around that area. Okay, let's move forward.
All right, MoveOn.org has created a new television ad in support of the public option, and they are featuring Heather Graham in the video. And it's also directed and produced by Yaniv Raz, who is a very famous director.
And also Peter Coyote, I believe, does the voiceover here. I noticed him immediately. I was like, oh, that's cool. He's got an awesome voice. So let's first watch the ad. Go.
Insurance companies have gotten lazy. Bloated from the profits of raising our healthcare costs sky high while the healthcare crisis keeps getting worse and worse. Public option is the key to quality, affordable health care for Americans. And over 70% of Americans want the public option. Some in Washington say this is unfair competition. But competition is as American as apple pie. Call 202-224-3121 and tell Congress we need a public health insurance option now.
MoveOn.org. Political Action is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
I love that.
No, I love it too because, look, we know that a lot of actors in Hollywood, like progressive causes, which is great, right? But this is really smart. It's wonky, like it's really getting into the weeds here. It's not like, I'm for world peace, right? It's like, no, I'm for this specific proposal on healthcare reform.
Exactly.
Which I think is to the great credit of Heather Graham and the director, et cetera, to want to get involved with this project. And remember, we don't think Move On is controversial at all, but a lot of people do, right? In Washington, they're like, oh, Move On. Sometimes they challenge the status quo. Egads, gadzooks, right? So it takes a little bit of balls on their part to get involved in this, and they did a great job with that ad. That ad was fun, and apparently Move On is going to spend over $100,000 running that ad, maybe even more. So that's fantastic.
They did a really good job illustrating the slacking private insurance companies. I love that.
And they framed competition as all-American, which it is, and I love that, and that's absolutely true. And I like that in the ad that the private insurance guys start to run after it. Right? They're like, oh, wait a minute, that's right. We need to compete on price, don't we? Because we're killing our customers with high premiums in that analogy. It really well executed, too. It was a good idea, and they did a great job with it. Why? Because they got a good director.
They got a good director,
right?
Exactly. And, just to be specific, this ad will air on MSNBC, CNN, and Bravo.
Don't it? All
and
right.
The reason why I'm excited about Bravo is because Bravo, that is the hub of reality shows.
That's like your second favorite channel after the Travel Channel or something?
Oh, Travel Channel's #1 by far.
Okay, we'll have to get it on Travel Channel next time. We'll have to talk to the Move On people. Now, I want to make a side tangential point here. Randomly, the other day I was thinking, it's funny, how the Fox, that's not on Fox News, shockingly enough. They've decided not to run that ad. But I hear they're fair and balanced, so that's kind of weird. But anyway, you know how conservatives love to bash liberal Hollywood, right? But they actually love and adore any actor who's actually conservative, right? The Jon Voights are all over Fox News Channel, but then much more importantly, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronald Reagan, they're all actors, right? And then I thought, God, who are the people who've been elected who are actors? Schwarzenegger, Reagan, Sonny Bono, Clint Eastwood, every single one of them was a Republican.
Jesse Ventura, too.
Okay, now Jesse Ventura's, off the charts, right? He's in a whole different sphere. And Minnesota did something unbelievable by electing him, which I thought was fantastic. And he's a lot of things. He was a talk show host, he was a wrestler, he was an actor, but that's true. And he's a libertarian in a lot of ways, etc. But there are no, Sean Penn doesn't get elected, The real liberals in Hollywood don't even have a chance of getting elected. And there's something weird about that. And
have they actually tried to run for anything? I mean, I've never seen Sean Penn try to run for something, but I'm sure that if he tried to run for an office in California, he would have a pretty good chance.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, look, here's the thing. The reason that people think that the Sean Penns and the Susan Sarandons and the Tim Robbins, et cetera, real progressives in Hollywood don't have a chance is because conventional wisdom in Washington is if you're an actor and you're a liberal or a progressive, yeah, you idiot, you don't know anything. What do you know, you actor? But if you're an actor and you're a conservative, oh, look at that. He represents the voice of America.
Right.
And he knows how to speak to people, and he's the great communicator. So you see the framing? See, and it's so pervasive that you don't even think about it necessarily. It's just something in the back of your head. And it's even in the back of a lot of people's heads that are on our side. Like, oh, no, Sean Penn can't run. No, they'll destroy him, right? Oh, but Schwarzenegger can run all day long as he's a Republican. Why is he any less goofy? In fact, Sean Penn is probably 3 times as smart as Schwarzenegger. And I don't mind Schwarzenegger. I think he's an interesting Republican, right? But
yeah, but when he was running for governor of California, a lot of people considered that election a circus because of the fact that he was taking part in it. I mean, people thought of him as a joke. The fact that he got elected surprised me 100%. I did not expect that because everyone was making fun of it.
First of all, it's not California, it's California. Okay, and second of all, most importantly, though, the journalists did not see it as a joke. The press covered it like, well, of course he's running. Now, it's a little silly, it's a little bit of a circus, but nothing fundamentally wrong with it. Like I said, take Schwarzenegger out, put Sean Penn in, and the press would have ripped him to shreds. They'd have been like, who do you think you are? To run for the governor of California? Why don't you stick to acting, okay? You see what I'm saying? Instead, the press was like, well, you know, George H.W. Bush once put him in charge of fitness. Wow, that's a lot of great experience. Again, I don't even really mind the politics of Schwarzenegger that much. Do I disagree with him on some things? Absolutely, right? And I don't, you know, some people think he's been a disaster as governor. I'm not sure I even agree with that. I think he's a guy you can disagree with, but he's not a lunatic, like unlike a lot of the Republicans. So this is not about that.
Right.
It's about how they treat people completely differently because of conservative propaganda that's been drilled in everybody's head and that is now considered conventional wisdom. And it's time to get beyond it. Okay. So that conventional wisdom, as Anna would say, you're done.
Okay, let's go on to a depressing story.
Oh, fun. Okay, great. Woohoo.
Desiree Jennings, she's from Washington, D.C. She just had a flu shot, and the flu shot has had very serious side effects. She's now disabled, and we have a report and a video that illustrates exactly what the flu shot did to her. But it basically screwed up her central nervous system. And it's a scary thing because this isn't the N1H1 vaccine. This is just a regular flu shot that she got to win points with her health insurance that her employee provides her.
All right, look, I have strong opinions, but let's watch the video first so we understand what we're talking about. Nice sound effects, by the way, by the local.
Right off the top tonight, a shocking side effect to a routine vaccination.
Just started a flu shot.
You heard her right. A regular flu shot gone horribly wrong. Tonight, the warning this woman wants everyone to hear. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Bolton.
And I'm Sean Yancey. A few weeks ago, Desiree Jennings was training for a half marathon. Tonight, she's struggling to walk, talk, even eat, left disabled by a very rare reaction to a seasonal flu shot. Claudia Coffey has more on this serious side effect.
The vast majority of doctors say flu shots are safe. In this case, the FDA says they found nothing wrong with this particular batch, but sometimes there are complications. And that's apparently what happened to Desiree Jennings. And now her life will never be the same.
Here, 26-year-old Desiree Jennings is the picture of health. She's a Redskins cheerleader ambassador and an avid runner. Her life changed forever on August the 23rd when she says she got a seasonal flu shot at a local grocery store.
I was training for a half marathon, and it all went so fast.
10 days after receiving the shot, she came down with the flu. After that, her health spiraled downwards. She started passing out and had to be hospitalized twice.
Yeah, we went to an urgent care facility and they wouldn't even let her get out of my truck because she was seizing in the back, so they called an ambulance immediately.
Doctors at Fairfax Inova and Johns Hopkins diagnosed her with a rare neurological disorder called dystonia. They think it was caused by a severe reaction to the flu shot. She now has difficulty speaking, walking, even eating. During our interview, she had several seizures. The effects are irreversible.
Symptoms will get worse if I use my voice or walk when the brain signals are misfiring.
Desiree reported her health problems to the Food and Drug Administration, thinking there might have been something wrong with her vaccine. We also contacted the FDA, and we were told they found no problems with the particular lot of flu vaccines that Desiree received, and the agency has not received any other reports of adverse effects from this lot. Health experts stress that overall, extreme side effects are rare.
The flu shot is very safe for the majority of the public, and as I said before, your heart really goes out to someone who experiences this sort of thing, thinking that they're doing something great for their wellness and their general health. But unfortunately, it does happen in extremely rare cases.
For Desiree, she just happened to be one of those rare cases.
I don't want this happening to anyone else.
Desiree and her husband plan to visit the Mayo Clinic in Arizona in November, hoping to get more answers about this disease and how they can live with it. Claudia Coffey, Fox 5 News.
All right. First of all, it's a hideous tragedy. I mean, it's irreversible. God, oh, you feel terrible for her. And that goes towards one of the themes we've been discussing for a couple of weeks now. Man, sometimes a lightning bolt comes out of the blue and changes your life forever. I mean, you gotta, I don't want to get too hokey here, but you really have to enjoy every moment, because you never know when a random car is going to, you know, smash into you in a parking lot, a wood, you know, tree's going to fall out of nowhere, like in that story we did, or you take a perfectly innocent flu shot, and then all of a sudden, you know, your life is ruined. So I feel terrible about it. Now, look, as to whether you should take the flu shot, as they said about 8 times in the story, it is very, very rare. So your chances of getting this is low. So don't freak out and think, okay, that's it, I shouldn't get the flu shot because of this, right? Now, the flip side to that is I don't. Now, but I don't want you to use me as an example, right? It depends on your situation. It depends on the context. Because you're taking a chance either way. You take a chance if you get the flu. You take a chance if you take the shot, right?
Right.
And for pregnant women, for example, you know, like Bill Maher was saying on his program, that they shouldn't take the shot, right? But a lot of doctors say, actually, the pregnant women are most vulnerable to the flu or the swine flu, et cetera, so they need to take the shot more. So you have to, you know, calculate all those odds and make the best judgment you have. The reason I don't take it is because right now I don't really, so far I'm in decent health, and I don't really care about the flu. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
I don't want to take even the smallest chance that could happen. If the worst that happens is I get the flu, like, yeah, okay, whatever. Now, I don't mean to be cocky. No, I could have a terribly adverse reaction to the flu, right? And then you can get screwed up that way. But for my purposes, I don't take it because I don't like injecting or taking things into my body unless I have to. Now, I absolutely positively believe in modern medicine and science, etc. So if it looks like I have to, I take it, right? But I have to be convinced of that. And then once I've reached that threshold, no problem, right? But until then, I lean against taking things that I don't have to take, okay?
Yeah.
And this is part of the reason why, because sometimes, you know, you get this fluke event, and that really screws you up.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I have, and like you said, don't take me as an example, but I have zero interest in the flu shot. And if the flu is the most terrible thing that could happen to me by not taking the flu shot, okay, it's not that big of a deal. I'll get over it, right?
Right.
But yeah, I've always kind of been against the flu shot. And everyone I know who's gotten the flu shot gets really sick immediately after. Because don't they basically get you sick so it builds up your immune system?
Basically, but you're not necessarily supposed to get sick. I mean, it's supposed to be a low enough dose that you don't get sick, but a lot of people have the reaction that they do.
Right.
Now, look, this stuff has been tested, and they look for the percentages. And if the percentages are good, that, you know, 99% of the people who are going to take it, as an example, are going to be better off than not taking it, then they push it, which makes sense, right? But everybody has a different reaction, and that's why you get stories like this. So don't get too freaked out. And look, just real quick, let me make an example of how it can go wrong the other way. You get the flu, it winds up being more severe than you thought. You go check into a hospital, and do you know that every single year, 100,000 people die in hospitals by infections or other diseases they got in the hospital? Okay. It's super depressing, but it's true. So then you get to one of those, and then you die that way, right? So on the other hand, you got to live, right? So anyway, don't freak out too much in either direction, but sometimes fate is a bitch.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a quick break here and come back. Young Turks. All right, back on the Young Turks. Jane Cougar and Princess Kasparin with you. What's next? Oh, you know what's funny is before we were talking about, you know, celebrities, and, you know, you shouldn't not necessarily take them seriously. Now, it's funny because here's a story of a celebrity you definitely shouldn't take seriously.
Okay, calm down. The American Cancer Society is very upset at Suzanne Somers. She's come out with her 19th book, and it's called Knockout. And in the book, she talks about alternative medicine and bioidentical hormones, which is something that she's been taking for quite some time now. By the way, she's 63 years old.
I know, but there's a lot of surgery going on there, and that's a really made-up picture, etc. But no, yeah, I agree with you. She looks great unbelievable for 63.
Right.
You know, the wonders of Hollywood.
Right. Okay, so basically in her book, she talks about how chemotherapy is not good for cancer, especially breast cancer and prostate cancer. You know, after after Swayze passed away, she basically said, you know, it's the chemotherapy that did it, and then she went ahead and apologized for that. But anyway, a lot of people from the FDA and from the American Cancer Society are worried about this book because they think that since she is a celebrity, people are actually going to take her seriously. And if they're diagnosed with cancer, they're going to turn to alternative medicine instead of, you know, using the conventional methods that have proven to work for the most part.
All right, here's my thoughts on that. Look, if you say to me, I'd like to do that in addition to what my doctor tells me, I say, God bless, go forward. Okay, whatever you're doing, rubbing things on yourself, etc. And I'm not trying to be flippant about it. You know, if you believe in it, and it might work. Look, I don't dismiss this out of hand at all, right? Because there is a reason why people used herbs, etc., because to some degree they worked on some things. And I encourage experimentation because you never know what we'll find. Now, having said that, chemotherapy, we use it because it generally does work a hell of a lot better than other things, and we've seen it literally millions of times. And chemotherapy saved my cousin's life when she was 18. Now, she didn't have breast cancer. Right. It was a little different. She had brain cancer, right? So just be smart about it, right? Look into it and see what your doctor says, see what the quote-unquote alternative medicine is. But in the end, please don't get carried away with the Suzanne Somers of the world, okay?
Right.
I mean, there's a reason, like, look at the odds. Look at what's actually worked. And if you say, hey, you know what, I looked at the odds for chemotherapy, and in this kind of cancer, it's this, and I don't like those odds, that's a little different than saying, oh, no, that's nonsense, and the Buddhists know better or whatever. Bring it down, okay? You want to stay alive. That's the main thing.
Right. There were only two things in this article that gave Suzanne Somers some credibility, okay? That's why I don't want to dismiss her 100%. But, I mean, she had breast cancer herself, and she had a lumpectomy and everything, and she decided to say no to doctors when they recommended that she get chemotherapy. And right now, she's in remission. She does not have breast cancer. So,
but her case is not every case. I think a lot of people make that mistake where they think, well, it worked for me, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for other people.
That's true. That's very true. And one other thing is, I didn't know that Don Imus is using alternative medicine for his prostate cancer.
Look, I don't have a lot of faith in Don Imus's judgment either. So that doesn't really go a long way towards convincing me. And if it was just this, I'd listen to her a little bit more. But remember, she takes like 1.5 million pills a day.
She takes 60 pills a day. And, you know, as I said, they're bioidentical hormones, and it's supposed to keep her young and vital, and
look,
her sex drive is doing well, as she says.
Well, God bless. Bless God, bless the pills, bless the gays. But look, on the one hand, she looks great for 63. She did beat breast cancer, right? On the other hand, I would be shocked if you take 60 pills a day and it doesn't do some sort of significant damage to you at some point. Let's see what happens, okay? And maybe she's doing it right for her body, but it might not be right for your body. So just, okay. And in the end, don't trust her.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Target has been accused of organic food fraud. Okay. They've been
organic food fraud. We've caught you some of my bitches.
The Cornucopia Institute, which is a organic food watchdog.
You need it. Somebody's got to do it.
Right.
Makes sense, right?
They have done an investigation, and they found that a lot of the organic food that Target sells, especially their soy milk, is not in fact organic.
Okay. Can I tell you how I overthink things? Like when I see the organic milk things, organic whatever, right, and the cage-free chicken, I always think there's a certain percentage chance that label is total bullshit.
Right.
Okay, because it's for-profit corporations. They're going to want to cheat at some point and make a little bit more money. I get that that's how the system is built, and, you know, I can live with it, right? And I think, what am I going to do? I'm not 100% certain, but in this day and age, I'll take 80, 85%, right? And then every once in a while, you'll hear, oh, Target's full of shit. And then you go, okay, I don't buy the organic stuff from Target. And you know what? That has, in the long run, a little bit of an effect, and that's how the free market works. So now if you're an organic nut, you know, not to denigrate the organic nuts, because I like to buy things that are as organic as possible, right? Then you say, Target, well, go ahead and scratch you off the list for a while. Let's see how, you know, you respond to this. I'd like to bring Dave Kohler into this story for a second. Can Dave hear me at all in the studio? Yeah, Dave, you're an organic fruity guy, right?
Not really.
Oh no, you're not. Okay, but you like the natural stuff. You like to
Yes.
eat pines and nuts. You're like a squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel betrayed by Target here?
So what did they do? They mislabeled?
The organic stuff. They're like, yeah, it's bullshit. It's not organic.
Well,
They
I
just put
don't
it-
feel betrayed, but that's a terrible, fraudulent thing to do. I mean, what?
Okay.
Why would I don't feel betrayed.
Are you crossing Target off your list?
No.
All right, Dave's open.
I've never bought food from Target anyway.
I didn't know that you could buy produce at Target.
Yeah, you can. Like those big stores, they have like shelves of food, but it's usually like junk food.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's where I'll find my Nutty Bars. Like Ralph's here locally have been cutting down. Like more and more stores are not carrying Nutty Bars, which ain't cool, right? I go and complain to the manager every time.
Right.
Like they're like, "Hey, did you find everything okay?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." To be honest with you, the Nutty Bars, which are Little Debbie snacks, they're not here. Put some thought behind it.
You know, I was thinking about your Nutty Bar addiction the other day because you've lost a bunch of weight, right?
Right.
So do you still indulge in a Nutty Bar here and there?
Can I tell you what kind of discipline I have? I used to eat nearly a Nutty Bar a day, okay, which is insane. I'd say on average about 4 or 5 a week, realistically. Okay?
I don't think that's insane.
Okay. Of course you don't. I'm down to about a Nutty Bar once a week or once every 2 weeks.
No, that's not normal. I don't think that's healthy. You're gonna binge on Nutty Bars. You are. It's not.
Oh, you're saying it's not healthy that I've cut down so much on the Nutty Bar.
Yeah, allow yourself at least one more Nutty Bar.
No, I'm strong. No, look, but at lunch today I splurged and got a twisty thing with chocolate chips on top, and I was like, and see, but when I eat the sweet stuff, I really want to enjoy it, so I concentrate. I'm like, this is like one of my few treats of the week. I get treats a week, you know. I'm like, all right, hold up now. I zone everybody out. Oh, that's good.
No, but dietitians will tell you that you need to do that. That is one of the keys to dieting. Because when you're eating food that's not necessarily good for you, you have to make it worth it. And you have to savor the moment, okay?
I did. And that's why people were looking at me funny at the restaurant. Because I'm like, that's a good twisty thing with chocolate chips on top. That's good. So you know me, I try to get the most out of life. So that's what I'm doing. And when I had my Nutty Bar last week, right, around the same time as now, right, I took a little time to myself. Because normally during the day, you know how I am. I'm reading, printing, highlighting, right? And I was like, no, I'm going to take 5 minutes here. And I sat down, a nice view, you know.
Do you light some candles, too?
Could you imagine? Some incense. And I bring out the Nutty Bar. I'm like, hello, dear. How you been?
Oh, my God.
I should do ads for Nutty Bars. Me and little Debbie go on a date, and our offspring is Nutty Bars. No, that's wrong. That's not going to work right. All right, anyway, unfortunately, we're out of time. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
So let's say for those, no post-game. Sobieski. All right, we'll tell you all about the vodka and the Beverly Hills Spago Blues tomorrow. Young Turks.